general question, I guess, for the two to think the Eagles are gonna win. Why do you believe the Eagles are gonna win? Start with you, Justin. Mister, I predicted this from the beginning of the year with no proof.
Let me ask you this: when we asked that question, when was that in the season?
When we asked what in the season,
The whole Super Bowl thing.
I think
When
that
I
was like one of our first
episodes,
couple
right?
Yeah, I
shows.
think we
Yeah,
started in week 6.
So
yeah, I
let me
think
Maybe
so.
ask
really
so let
early.
me ask you this: even if you don't believe I picked it before that, wasn't that not early enough in the season? Because I tell you
Yeah,
now,
I
none of
think
y'all were
we all made
believers
our
in the
picks.
Eagles back then.
We all made
And
our
they
picks, and
they
you and
were
Brian,
undefeated
you
when
stayed
you
with the
made that
Eagles.
pick,
You didn't
though.
switch it up, so I'm not.
I
I
mean,
can say that.
I
they were
mean,
definitely undefeated. They were
what
probably
five?
6-0,
What
7-0, something like that.
I think we
Okay.
started like week
So
5. So
again,
what's your reasoning now? I
they
mean, to
still
support
had
it.
half of the season. Same thing I've been saying
Hey,
with them all year.
Hold on. Let me hear Justin's reasoning.
Yeah, for me it's simple. They when it comes to this game, they have the best offensive line and they have the best defensive line going into it. You can control the line of scrimmage, just gonna give you a very good chance to win. I think the fact that they can consistently run the ball and be effective with it, that's gonna be the difference because they're gonna be able to control the clock. That's one thing I will say if you watch the Chiefs games this year, when they've struggled and or lost is when they play teams that are physical, that can control the line of scrimmage, and when they don't have to blitz, seven people, to get after Patrick Mahomes, when you can, send 4 or 5 in and get pressure on him, and the Eagles can do that. So,
Yeah, like the Colts.
wow, I didn't
You
say
about
that,
to say
but
Jared? I just had to put that
no,
in
I
there.
was
yeah, I
gonna
know you
say,
did.
damn, what was I gonna say?
I threw him off. I thought you
I
off with the
You
Colts.
did, bro.
trying to pop that quick. Hold on.
Everybody's face
No,
was
no, no,
like,
no.
what?
Going back to Justin's point when he said, he called Eagles, winning to my advantage. When he did say that, I did pull up the schedule and look at it, and we can roll back the tape. I looked at the schedule and I'm just saying I don't see many losses on the
I do
schedule because they
remember.
ain't
I
played
do
nobody.
recall you saying that.
So I mean, yeah, they almost ran the table, but there was no zero competition on that schedule. So the reason I'm picking the Chiefs is because I don't feel like they've proven that that they're ready. I mean, we'll see. Like great points, great offensive line, great defensive line, can run the ball. I get all that. I feel like Hurts is going to have to throw for more than 121 yards to win the
Okay.
game, and you know
They got the weapons to do it.
Yeah.
we'll see.
So
We shall
I,
see.
And then
I,
that
It'll
means
be a
you have
good
no
game.
faith in Devontae Smith or AJ Brown
I
and
just
or
don't have a
or
lot of.
Goddard.
I don't have a lot of faith in Jalen Hurts dropping back and throwing the ball down the field.
Wow,
And if
okay.
that's what Kansas City is going to force him to do, I
they're
think
not.
it may be trouble.
They're not. You're giving Kansas City's defensive line a whole lot of credit there,
I'm
bro.
giving that coaching staff a lot of credit.
Okay.
We're gonna
I mean,
see.
they come up
All
with
right.
good. They come up with great game plans.
So
I mean, to have hold on real quick to
go ahead.
have like the rookies on the corners that they had, and to have only lost 3 games this season. I mean, that says a lot about the game plan. That says a lot about the position coaches. That says a lot about the scheme and the overall game plan. That they'll come up with something to keep that game from being some route. Like I don't see it being a route. That's
All right,
just
Ike. You always tend to have like a different perspective on how you see games than us. So
he
with you
does.
being the other Eagle picker, oddly, because what happened in the championship game. What do you see outside of these 2 points? To kind of, well, I ain't gonna say outside of them, but to kind of discredit what Jared's saying with the Chiefs, because I think he makes a valid point.
I mean, I guess you said that because I'm in the business of discredit, right?
You are discredited.
Well, I mean, if we go back 2 episodes when we were initially doing this, right? I said whoever wins the NFC Championship game is my pick for the Super Bowl. So I mean, I was already on that train. I don't think the Niners lose without losing 2 quarterbacks, but that's a moot point at this point.
Yeah.
I It's kind of hard to say anything additional. I mean, I've kind of ran with Justin on the offensive line, defensive line. I do have a bit of a bias. I'm not gonna lie to you because Jalen Hurts is accused, and I kind of gotta go for the Bucks.
Okay.
But I do think that they are a complete team. I think they're a more complete team, honestly, than the Chiefs are when it comes to like their defense is definitely superior. Their offense is not superior, but they at least have weapons at in every area. So I mean, you've got Hurts who can run. I mean, he's not a slouch at the pass. I don't know if he's going to throw for 300, but he's still going to make those timely passes. And Devontae Smith has been killing, and you still got AJ Brown. And I don't know that the Chiefs have anybody that can guard both of them. Like one of them is going to kill. One of them may be quiet, but one of them is going to kill. So if your running game is not working, even though I don't necessarily see the Chiefs being able to stop the run as consistently, I mean, they're going to run the ball all game, and at some point, they're going to break one. But if you do stop the run, like one of those receivers is going to get off, and it's going to be hard to keep them. Like the Chiefs are going to have to keep them third and long, and that's going to be super difficult. That's where my problem is. I don't think that the Chiefs can consistently put them in third and long situations. Like they're going to be third and mid, third and short.
For the Eagles in third and long.
But I mean, you can say that about a lot of teams in the NFL. But I'm with you though, Ike. Yeah, that's my thing, Ike. Is where what you just said is, in order to stop Philly's run, what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to put them corners on the island against Smith and against Brown. I don't think they have two corners that are going to be able to stop. They may stop one. You can't double them both. I'm going to tell you now, and then them tight ends are going to kill you. The backs are going to kill you out of the backfield. And you're going to pick your poison. Jay, I think what you like to for me, Jalen don't have to pass for 300 because it's going to take so much effort for them to stop the run. I'm going to tell you now, if they commit to stopping the run, Jalen may throw for 300 because he's going to get a whole lot of one-on-one matchups. And if y'all still doubting, if people are still doubting his ability to throw the ball, I don't know what else to tell you. Because he improving everything.
I guess that's why we got to watch the game to find out. I personally can't see it.
So with me, go ahead.
Before you go, did anybody know that AJ Brown's first name is Arthur?
It's what?
Arthur.
No, I didn't.
No.
That's probably why it's AJ. We probably want to keep it that way.
Did y'all know AJ Green's was Adriel?
Adriel?
Adriel Jeremiah. Yep, that's what AJ Green stands for.
Yeah, keep that AJ too. Well, with me being the other chief picker, I just think about what they've done, what they did to the Bills, like as far as the passing game. So I think with those corners being on the island, the going up against like a Bills offense, the pass-heavy AFC West, I think they've seen enough high-powered passing offense that I think they feel comfortable with their corners being able to do what they do, I'm not gonna say they're gonna dominate or win, and maybe they haven't went up against two receivers like Smith and Brown, but I think scheme-wise, and I think that their coaching staff understands enough that they'll be able to maybe contain the run enough and the pass enough, because it may just come down to outscoring. It may just come down to a scoring, who can outscore who. Because I don't necessarily think that the Eagles are that much better on offense than the Kansas City is on defense and vice versa. They pretty even throughout the season and rankings and all that other stuff that we've been seeing throughout the past couple of weeks that everybody want to post. They're pretty even on both sides of the ball as far as what each of them do well. But I just think the Chiefs have been here enough times. They know what it takes. They've won. They've lost. They've been on both sides of the coin. And sometimes it may just come down to experience or nerves or being comfortable or understanding the moment. And I think when it's time to perform, the Chiefs always come out on top when it's time. Mahomes, Kelsey, Badfoot, it doesn't matter. They tend to show up in the playoffs. Their defense has been making the plays. So I don't really think that Philly is going to dominate the way that people think that Philly going to dominate on offense.
I'm going to go ahead and say this because I think you really missing it, because as much as y'all want to take away from Philadelphia, let's just be real. Cincinnati ain't great. Cincinnati, if Cincinnati's O-line wasn't so bad, I'm going to tell you now, that game probably would have went a different way anyway, because Joe Burrow was getting pressure. You're not going to get that same kind of pressure on Hurts. I'm just going to call it what it is. That's part of the difference.
But
The other
then
the
go
other
ahead, go
issue.
ahead.
Getting pressure doesn't necessarily uh, determine win or lose, though. So I
No,
mean, there's some
I never
situations
said it
where
did. But I'm
yeah,
saying if you're
but
not getting
I'm just saying to that point.
yeah, but I'm saying like if you okay, so if pressure doesn't have anything to do with your success, then
I said it
why is it
doesn't necessarily determine.
Win or
The
lose.
Bengals have been getting pressured all last year, all this year for the last half of the season, and you can still win with being pressured.
But
And
that
there's
was a
some quarterbacks
huge
where you can't
reason
blitz. You know
that
what I'm
the
saying?
Chiefs lost the Super Bowl that they lost. And I know they were
against the
missing
Bucks?
an offensive lineman, but it was Mahomes didn't have time to actually find somebody.
I mean,
And
they
if
they were injured. Their O line was injured.
injured or not, with this Eagles defensive line, I mean, they still have that ability to do that.
All right. I mean, so let's
But
throw out
then, but
let's throw
then
out
you
score
also look at
predictions
the
before we end
okay.
it.
Let's say they D line is. Let's say okay, they D line has that ability. If you look at the next level, they're not spectacular at the linebacker level either. And now the Mahomes and that offense has been kind of tailored to taking what the defense gives us. That don't necessarily just because you get pressure don't necessarily, and we've seen with Mahomes getting pressure on
Yeah,
him doesn't really
he's one of the best
always mean
quarterbacks
that
ever
it's
against
going to
pressure.
disrupt him.
I ain't worried about that.
You know what I mean? Like that doesn't really rattle Mahomes like that.
Mm-mm.
Mahomes still will
He's a
sit the
better
pocket.
quarterback against pressure than he is when you're not pressuring him. So
But
And
here's the
the
difference
question
again.
is,
They don't have to blitz to get pressure.
okay, you didn't got
Yeah.
to, you don't have,
all right.
then that's fine. But also, if you don't blitz and you give Mahomes that much time or enough time, we all
Well,
know how what
we'll have to
happens
see
then.
if the Eagles are going to choose to guard Kelsey because no
They're
other
gonna
team
have to.
seems
They're
to
gonna
Yeah,
have.
who do
They're
you,
gonna
You
have
know,
to. That's.
who
I
do
mean,
you
we
put
already
on
talked
there?
about
stay
that.
wide open.
You're not gonna put a
I mean,
corner on
he's
there.
wide
You're not gonna
open
put a corner on there.
every play. I
Mhm.
mean, it's like you think he's
They-
lightning fast. I seen in that play against the that touchdown catch against the Bengals. He had Jesse Bates slide and like, is he really that fast?
Keep up the good work,
Can't
fellas.
just
I
stick
got
to him.
Eagles -1 last week. Chiefs need it more than the Eagles. Yeah, do they? I don't.
Again, that goes to one of them things. I see the Chiefs continuing this. Like there could be the Eagles could be 9-8 next year. Like, and that wouldn't like surprise me. But
But here's
if
the
the Chiefs
difference,
come
though.
back as 9-8 next year, like that would blow my mind. So I feel
I
like the
would.
Eagles do need it, just like I felt like the Bengals needed it more than the Rams last year. Like you're probably not getting back. Like you see, they didn't.
But
Although the Rams didn't
I,
either, but the
but I think
Rams sold out for it, and they got it. But I don't know.
I
I
think
feel
the
like the Eagles need
Chiefs'
more.
window is open, but I will say this: I think they need it more than the Eagles in terms of. I think the Chiefs' road to getting back to Super Bowls the way they have been right now is
Uh,
going to be harder because of the talent they have in the AFC in terms of the
I
young
get that.
quarterback.
I think we're looking.
Yeah,
So
I
I
think the
kind of
AFC
am looking at it
for
from
the
two
next
different
few years is going
perspectives.
to be the
I
toughest
totally
road
agree
to the
with
Super
that.
Bowl.
yeah, so I think from that perspective, if that's where he's coming from, I think 100% that I mean they're going to have to capitalize on this because I mean you got a lot of young good quarterbacks in that AFC that they're gonna have a lot to say about it. You know what I mean? So we're gonna see. I think it's gonna
I,
be a good game. Like I said,
oh yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked one way or the other,
I
but
wouldn't either.
I
it's either
just
going to be very low scoring or very high scoring. I don't like that's just what I
I'll be
believe.
honest. I could actually see the Chiefs being dominated. I'm gonna just be real. Like I said,
I
and I
don't see
told you,
I don't see
and I said this from a transparency
no
standpoint.
sir.
You can
No
laugh
No,
as
no,
much
no.
as you
I can
want,
see.
but
It
I'm gonna
can
be real.
happen.
The game they played against Tennessee just sticks in my head, and maybe it's because it's one of the few I've seen of the Chiefs. 80 passing yards the whole game, and they had to go into OT with Malik Willis, no Tannehill, because the physicality that Tennessee's defense brought and how they were still able to control the line, it gave Kansas City problems. And I get it, teams adjust and all that, but
Yeah,
that's why
but
I said like
I
that
don't
kind
see
of
the
sticks in
Eagles
my head.
being that. The Eagles aren't that type of physical on defense.
What?
No,
Have you watched the
no,
Eagles this year?
yes, yes,
No, you
yes.
haven't. Not saying
No,
that you
not.
haven't.
And it ain't like their head coach is this defensive coach. Like it's Mike Vrabel. Of course, the Tennessee Titans are going to be aggressive and physical on defense. That's all they know. The Eagles is not that.
Man,
Maybe
I
So
just wish.
does that mean because Mike Vrabel's a defensive coach, you thought they were going to take Kansas City to overtime?
I'm just saying if you're talking about the defensive physicality of the game, that's their coach's armada. Like that's what you expect from Mike Vrabel coach team. But from the Eagles have been very finesse. Very finesse.
I just haven't seen
Outside of their run game, outside of their run game,
Jordan Davis and the Ndamukong Suh finesse.
Bro, they just got
Josh
there.
Sweat finesse.
They haven't been there all year. They just got there.
Who hasn't been there?
Ndamukong Suh and they been there.
Ndamukong Suh's the only one who came at the end of the year. Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick, all them been there all year, bro. What you talking about?
And bro, listen, bro. I hear you, but they're not.
They drafted Jordan Davis, so
okay.
What are we really talking about?
They're not that. They're not thumping, and they're not doing that.
I just think about things differently.
Just know they've given up 14 points this whole postseason.
I'm about to send a clip of what Vernon said today.
I can't go.
Look, say what you want. Philadelphia's defense is giving up 14
to
points.
The Titans defense, stop.
They've given up 14 points this whole postseason. So call it what you want.
Okay, that's only because the Niners lost 2 quarterbacks. They would have easily put up 30 on them.
So is that the only game they played?
Who else did they play?
Lions, bro.
Okay.
Are we serious?
They haven't
the
played
Lions were putting
nobody
like 30
who has
points a
been
game,
this
but
That's the
dominant
third time they
offense.
played them this year.
The Giants?
I can't go.
Yeah,
Man.
come on, man. The Giants?
What's the
crazy,
Giants?
like-
How many points were the Giants putting up?
Not
It doesn't
enough.
matter. That's a division, right? It doesn't
Rival.
matter.
Come on, bro.
That does not matter.
And the Giants
bro.
put up 20-something on them.
That's a division game in the playoffs.
They're only
that's
averaging giving up
always
14. The
always
average is 14.
So-
That's because San Fran couldn't
Right,
score,
that's
and they had to
crazy.
run the ball for 3 quarters.
And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying that the Eagles
I
can't
don't see
win,
that.
bro.
Oh,
So you're
no,
saying
they haven't
you're
shown
saying
enough
you're not
this
shocked by them only giving up 14 points this postseason? Because according to your
I-
logic,
I'm-
if they're finesse,
Outside of that San Francisco, no.
Vernon, if they're finesse, how they only give up 14 points?
Because
Giants
San
is physical.
Francisco, it's
San Francisco have a
weighted.
quarterback,
It's jaded.
That's one of the games.
and the Giants suck. Like, what are we talking about here?
You done played. That's your 3rd time playing the Giants. You better not give
It's a
up that many
division
points.
game. Like, you better know them. You got endless amounts
Daniel
of tape on them.
Jones?
Like,
That's your guy.
There was a
Whoa,
Dave
are you
Ball
really
for the
going
year.
to downplay Daniel Jones
I'm
this
just
season, bro?
saying,
For
this
real?
is who you talk about.
No,
One
no.
good year, Daniel Jones.
I'm not about to step to the plate and swing the bat for Daniel Jones.
Come
It ain't
on,
about,
know
it
who
ain't,
he
it ain't
is.
about swing. Okay,
I am.
here's the thing I don't get about folks. You
don't
want to
know.
give credit to some and discredit others.
I'm not.
So you don't want to look at what Daniel Jones did throughout the season.
I'm not
You just
discrediting
wanna talk
Daniel.
about
I'm not
what?
discrediting Daniel. But when we're talking about a team, when you're bringing up the Eagles and they're only giving up 14 points, and we're talking about
I said they gave up 14 points this entire postseason.
this postseason.
You have
that's
to
what I'm
take
talking
into
about.
consideration the
They
competition.
had a bye.
That's all I'm saying.
They had a bye.
So 2 NFL teams, and I get the 49ers game, so don't get me wrong. I
we're really
understand
just
that.
talking about the
man,
Giants.
like that's not.
We're really just talking about the Giants here.
Hey, Brandon, me too.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm
me
here.
too, brother.
Like the Chiefs are not the Giants. They
The
just
Chiefs
not.
are not the Giants.
They're not the
By
Giants.
any means, great respect,
that
not
logic
great.
don't apply, bro.
And the Chiefs aren't also
So
aren't the
Philly is the
49ers
Bengals?
minus 4 quarterbacks. Like,
So Philly is the Bengals. That's what you're saying.
what? What are we talking about?
I would put them close. I will put the
Was
the
that
Eagles
question to
close.
me?
I will
I'm
put the
confused.
no. I don't think he just comparing. He talking about with playing the Chiefs. I will put the Eagles closer to the Bengals than I will put the Chiefs closer to the Giants.
Hey, take your hand off your hip, yo.
I feel like that's easy.
That's on my leg. It's my leg. I can't put it on my hip.
Yeah, I'm not sold on. I'm not sold
I
on
just
the
found
Giants this season. I'm also not sold on the 49ers minus 4 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's okay. Never mind.
They've won the games that they played. I'll give them that. But I mean, come on, man.
But today they made. I don't see a domination. I just don't see it.
And see, I'm not even gonna go that far. Any
I wouldn't
NFL
say the
game
Eagles
can go
defense is
anyway.
finesse, though.
Because like we
That's
talked
all
about.
I'm saying. This Negro literally said the Eagles defense is finesse.
Finesse?
Finesse. Come on, bro. That's the only reason why I brought up 14 points the whole postseason. Did I say anything about them playing juggernaut offenses? No. But let's just be real, bro. Jerry, you done watched enough football. Are you really saying that you think a team's defense is what? They just finesse and they give. I don't care who the heck you
I
play in the
wouldn't say
NFL. 14
finesse,
points,
no.
bro, in
I
2
wouldn't say
games.
finesse.
That's 8
I would
quarters,
say
bro.
they're tough. I would say they're
Come
tough.
on, man.
They've played
Come on,
well. What they got? What 2 or 3 guys with more than double-digit sacks? Like that's crazy. But I am big on competition, and for your best games to have been the Vikings and the Cowboys all year long, I'm not sold. I'm not sold. I feel like you ought to have a good performing defense if those are your 2 best games.
And you got Washington twice.
Yeah, and then Dallas was a team that you play twice every year, so you got plenty of tape. You know Dak. Like, if those are your best games, it's hard for me to say, yeah, absolutely, they're going to win the Super Bowl for sure.
I mean, I feel you, but every team in their division was 500 and better. So call it what you want.
Okay, then. So what? So what happened against the Colts then?
What about them? The Chiefs lost to the Colts. So what's your point?
Lost to the Colts.
So go ahead.
Go
ahead, because you're shooting yourself in the foot. So go ahead. What about
I'm just saying. I'm talking about Philly. Like, okay, you're talking about they may dominate. Do we put? Where do we put that offense? Is that just this killer offense?
I love
then? And the Chiefs ain't did nothing on defense.
Who said the Chiefs didn't do anything on defense?
No, man, I'm just saying. If we're flipping the script, you're saying, you can see them dominating. Where?
You can see who? What? What are you saying?
You're saying you can see the Eagles dominating the Chiefs.
Yes.
But you don't see it going the opposite way?
Did I say that?
I'm asking.
Did I say that?
Did you not say that you can see the Eagles dominating the Chiefs?
I said yes.
And I'm asking you, do you not see it going it could go the other way?
That's 2 different questions. Could it go the other way? Yes. Do I see it going that way? No.
Of course, you picked the Eagles, but I'm just saying, like,
no, it ain't about my.
No, that's it. That's it. There's nothing else to even talk about on that, Vernon. I think he hit it.
You're making it sound like they're this far apart.
He did answer your question, sir.
Yeah, he definitely answered it.
And I'm saying that they're not that far apart. And Eagles' defense is not these killers. They're not.
I'm not even gonna say that, but
yeah,
have they dominated an offense that I felt like I would sign my name to?
No.
That's fine. But again, it goes back to this, and you said this before. So go ahead and double down on it, Jared. You play who? Do they make their schedule?
No.
Or do you just play who's on your schedule?
You play who's on your schedule.
You play who makes the playoffs, right?
Absolutely.
So they've done what they're supposed to do, and they've done
what they were supposed to do.
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
They've done what they were supposed to do. That's win games. They've done that. I'll give you that.
And so have the Chiefs.
Air horn.
And all I've said is this. Giving up 7 points against the Giants, and obviously the 49ers game, it ain't even no need to talk about that because we know how crazy that was. But you can call it what you want. But in the playoffs, Giants put up points on the Vikings. I ain't saying the Vikings are some great team, but they put up points, right?
The worst defense in the league.
That was one of those 2 teams that the Eagles beat that I would say is the top. So, I mean, I can't even circle around on that one. Can't co-sign that joint. But we'll see. Hey, I think it's gonna be a good game.
It's gonna be such a good game, though. It's gonna be a good game.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Vernon, you better hope the Eagles don't get in that tail. Because if they do, I'm driving to your crib that night.
On its last light, same clothes I'm from last night. Still lit like it's last night. Young living in the fast life, young. Smoke cloud from the ash pipe, catch air from the half pipe. I need a centerfold from the shows with the mansion. Chandelier dancing, counting a Branson, yeah. Been had hella Franks, man, it's ballpark figures. Might be in the field, but I came from the trenches. You can tell it's my time, looking better squint. I do like the charm on my wrist, let me glitch. Want me pay the way, I'm the wave, I'm authentic. Sitting courtside, got a sprain, nigga. I bring the gang for the gang. Nothing but a thing when I sang. Young Usain, I sprint it. Getting fresh prints, counting a blessing on blessing on blessing. They call me the reverend, y'all nigga play too much.